question on mental illness. When I started following your teachings, I realized that what I thought was mental illness was actually my ego. How can ACIM help others who are dealing with similar realizations? What role does forgiveness play in healing from what is perceived as mental illness?
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people who feel a little wacky and crazy and dysfunctional sometimes get labeled or diagnosed as having mental illness, and it's like a stigma. It's almost like out of all the billions of people on planet Earth, that there's just a fraction that are corralled and called, these are disabled, these are mentally disabled, these are mentally ill people. And what Jesus is doing with his Course in Miracles is he's saying, well, the definition of believing in separation from God is mental illness, because the ego is a belief in the mind. So if you believe in the ego, then you have forgotten your true Christ identity, the true love, the true light. So by definition, all of the projections that we would call now maybe, 7.8 billion people, whatever the population is now, are all projections of the ego. So is the world that they seem to inhabit. So is the cosmos, the galaxies, the black holes, the many, many galaxies and quasars and stars. Everything is part of that mental illness. And because mental illness is not inner peace. Inner peace is health, and mental illness is, we'll just say, the belief in fragmented perception, in bits and pieces instead of wholeness, completion, love, light. So it puts it in a much broader definition. So instead of feeling the stigma, then, everyone on planet Earth, if they had a giant 12-step meeting for 7.8 billion people, the largest 12-step group in the world, all inclusive, everybody could get together. Hi, my name is so-and-so. I believe I'm human, an earthling, and I have a perceptual problem. I'm perceiving a fragmented world that God didn't create and God doesn't even know about. And the problem is one ego, just one tiny mad idea that has been taken seriously. Instead of being able to see the falsity of it and laugh at it, it's been taken serious. So that puts mental illness into a whole different context, because all illness, Jesus tells us, is mental illness. There's no such things as physical illness and mental. All illness is mental illness, and all healing is of a spiritual nature, of accepting the correction, the atonement or forgiveness in the mind. And that's a very different context than what we were raised with, what we believed we were.
And also, you know how I found that helpful, and I mentioned it before. I can't mention it enough. And you said it. It took the stigma off of Kenneth Price. It landed like a bullseye. I heard in the back. I actually heard a voice say "bullseye." Oh, that's why I was supposed to drive to Utah.
That's it. That's it.
And then I can't not include the quote by Krishnamurti: "To be well adjusted to an insane society is not a sign of mental health." So.
Yeah, beautiful.